Wubba-lubba-dub-dub! Rick and Morty is back, you guys. We didn't know it was coming. We didn't even think we were going to have a show this week, but god damn it, we got into the studio. So let's talk about the season 3 premiere of Rick and Morty today on Sci-Fi Weekly.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies. And now, here's Popcorn Talk's Sci-Fi Weekly.
I can't do it again. Welcome, guys, to Sci-Fi Weekly, the show that brings you the past, the present, and the future of science fiction. I'm your host, Zach Wilson. I'm so excited today. I still can't believe that it really happened. We're going to talk about the Rick and Morty premiere. That's all we're going to talk about because I didn't have a show planned. But
at least you're honest.
Yeah.
If you watched last week's episode, we literally said we're not going to be on next week because we're traveling.
Well, April Fools, here it is, guys.
Yeah, April Fools. Let me introduce the panel that I've assembled to talk about this today. I have with me the executive producer of Popcorn Talk, Stephen Lemieux.
Hey guys, good to be here. Follow me on Twitter at the Popcorn Talk. And I gotta tell you, you know how I found out that that they aired the episode? My mom texted me.
Wow.
She texted me, "There's a new episode of Rick and Morty on right now." My parents love the show.
Aww.
That explains a lot.
That's a really mean thing to say, Zach.
I'm Tauri J. Miller. You can find me at Tauri J. It's T-A-U-R-I-J-A-Y.
I'm Christian Bladt. I'm on Twitter at ChristianDMZ, and I have to take a shit, but I'll hold it in.
No,
All
you
right.
won't.
I didn't.
Anyone who might be who might have not seen the episode yet is very confused.
Yes.
If you haven't, we're going to do a quick spoiler-free review, just our general thoughts on it, and then we're going to dive into the episode with all the spoilers. This was a perfect episode. Like, for me, this is exactly what I wanted. It was crazy in ways that the show has not been before. Mm-hmm. Answered the big cliffhanger from season 2. And was just like balls out, like what the fuck is happening?
It was insanity. It was exactly what you want from the show. Their social media, because I've had a feeling they were going to put something up for a while because their Snapchat and their Instagram stories have been slowly like putting out more and more stuff recently.
The Instagram game that they have with like the maps. If you guys haven't played this, there's literally like they have different Instagram accounts that each just like use the layout to be a map, and then you can click through and it'll jump you to another account, which is another map.
Well, there's also the stories that have 6 images and 2 focal points, so it blurs and unblurs as it goes. So like you see
Next level.
a baby in a crib and it unblurs to like an alien in the background looking at it like licking its fingers, and you're like, what is going on? So like I've been excited with their social media, but no, this I don't know what to say that's spoilery, so I can't say anything.
Yeah. The thing I liked the most about this episode is that of this 2 seasons, it was the most serialized. It referenced every...
You can hear the booth.
Ooh.
Yeah, Anthony, mute your mic, Mo.
Hey, Booth. How you doing?
That's how excited everyone is about
Exactly.
the episode. The book wants in.
The fourth
wants to
wall
talk
broke
about
just
it.
now.
Yes.
But yeah, like it referenced so many different things throughout the first 2 seasons. Even the references were referencing other different things. So I really enjoyed that aspect of it, because like you hear interviews with Roiland and Harmon, and they're always like, "Nah, we don't plan anything out, and we don't really we don't really care to serialize it in any way. Every episode is a new adventure." But this one, every piece of it was referencing something, and it all came together really nicely.
Yeah.
Now, for me, I was very excited when I heard the news. Unfortunately, I heard the news. It was on my Twitter, on my phone, while I'm driving back very slowly from Palm Springs. I'm like, I get it. I know it's up. I can't watch it yet. So I actually didn't get to watch it till today. But when I saw it, it was like running into your best friends that you just haven't seen in a while. And just having so much fun, and I'm just going to reference something that I won't because this is the spoiler-free zone, but the kinds of jokes that make this show or any show that I think is funny perfect to me were in this heavily on display in this episode. Just the randomness of some of the establishments that were referenced.
Yeah, this is they really went out of the way, especially after all the turmoil that we'd heard behind the scenes. Like they from what I understand, they got through writing most of the season and then threw it out because Roiland and Harmon were not satisfied with what they'd written, and they just we're going back to the drawing board.
Sometimes that's what you need, though.
I mean, that takes a lot of guts to say like, hey, this isn't up to par, so we're gonna try again.
Hey, we did one tab of acid too many on this run through. Let's try 18 tabs this time and see what happens.
Yeah.
Instead of our normal 19.
But yeah, let's say all spoilers will from now on. Spoiler alert. If you haven't seen this, go find it on the internet.
It's on Facebook. It's literally everywhere for right now until they take it all down. So
yeah, I don't know when or if they're planning on putting it up until the season truly premieres in the summer, which is when it's supposed to come back. But if you haven't seen it, go find it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a chance that they posted it on AdultSwim.com, which is where it was streaming.
Yeah.
So I think that should be the first place you go, support the official release. But
then if you can't find it, it isn't that hard because I would have had to sit through a stream of all the episodes to get to the new episode. So I had to take matters into my own hands, and I did find it. So we don't usually encourage that.
Christian's like 70 years old and he could find it using social media. So
no, my son showed me how to do it. He's he opened it up on my phone. And I was like, I can watch videos on my phone? Yeah, he's 18 months old.
Yeah, you know.
But yeah, so the episode opened in this, it is such a great, again, just the fake outs within fake outs of just anyhow, that's how I escaped space prison.
Right.
Yeah. Because I went back and I rewatched the last episode of season 2. I watched the premiere, then I went and rewatched the last episode, and then rewatched it.
Right, and you think it's going to be one of those things where are they just going to skip it and tell us later, or maybe never?
If you're watching live, according to Captain Travis in the chat, it will be streaming tonight at 8:30 on Adult Swim.
Eastern
Who knows
or
what
Pacific?
time code it
is? Come on, Captain Travis.
God.
If it's TV, it'll be both.
Ridiculous.
All right, you're right.
It'll be in mountain time, guys.
And then they drop into Shoney's, which
there was a whole conversation about Shoney's right before the show started.
Well, Steven, that's a real place?
Shoney's is a real place, and it took me so long to realize that I have been there multiple times in my life, and I remember it, but I'm thinking, are they making fun of Shoney's? Are they making fun of something that I think is Shoney's but is actually named differently? And I looked up no, it's actually called Shoney's, and the show is literally there at Shoney's.
Your brain actually has to be melting for you to decide to choose to walk into a Shoney's.
Literally, yes. And they have coffee cups like that, and it's nice.
Interesting. I thought it was
with less butts.
Less butts? What's the point of going then?
I don't know.
This episode's sponsored by Shoney's, by the way.
Yeah.
It seems to be.
He appears to have made a butt. How could he do that? He's the smartest man in the universe.
I thought it was a take on Denny's, Shoney's Denny's, and so everyone knows that for me, Denny's is the happiest place on earth. So I got a warm heart from that, but to know that it's a real place that literally competes with my Denny's.
No, Shoney's
really
is more
sad.
like the IHOP of Denny's. Sit down leather booths, but still low quality.
It's more like Jack in the Box tier if you move it over to fast food.
But they have a
It's
mean
very
hot
low
chocolate.
level.
Interesting.
Again, you're in the pocket of Shoney's. You keep trying to
A
show
little
the
bit.
products. All right.
A little bit.
Fair enough. At least you're upfront about it.
I like to show knees.
He's on Twitter at Shoney's.
What did you guys think of the Nathan Fillion bug agent? I love that they got Nathan Fillion to play this role. He's been popping up everywhere recently.
Are you aroused, or is that kind of like a tick?
You get the feeling that he's, from what you know about him, just his public persona, you feel like he was waiting for them to ask him to do something, and I think it was great. And it's one of those things where you're listening, I don't know, how long does it take you to know it's him? Like half a second?
Didn't
Maybe
realize
a full
it.
word? Ever, till just now.
Until you said it, I didn't even think of it.
Oh, really? Yeah, it was
Yeah.
3 words,
You're like,
maybe.
You're like, hey, this guy sounds like Castle.
I don't watch Castle, and I never watched Firefly. I've seen like 6 episodes of Firefly, so his voice is not fresh in my mind. So now that you say that, that's cool, but...
Zach, is he allowed to still sit here?
Yeah, no, you gotta get out, bro.
It's fine. I never watched Castle either. And
I'm talking about Firefly.
And I haven't watched Firefly in years.
Okay.
And but just Nathan Fillion has been everywhere recently.
True.
Right.
Like he's on Modern Family now, and just like he pops up.
Yeah.
I think they're hid in the background have cast him as Wonder Man in the Marvel Universe.
Oh, yes.
It's like not a character that ever is like going to be on screen, but he's in posters as an established like
As
comic
Wonder
book
Man.
character. Yeah,
A proud member of the West Coast Avengers, Wonder Man.
well, when he's an actor,
Oh, of course.
because
That was his day job.
he's in movie posters and background of stuff. It's really weird. Anyway, but yeah, I love that we're doing like Inception again.
Yeah, pretty much.
It seeing as you had mentioned that Fillion is appearing everywhere, he's kind of like the Jon Hamm of he's competing with Jon Hamm for cameos. And this specific storyline was very reminiscent to the Jon Hamm episode of what is that? Black Mirror.
Oh.
Where he was in the person's head. This is probably a spoiler. But yeah, he was trying to source information from a person.
I mean, I think it's more similar to the one called Gamer, where you don't know if you're actually in the house or if you're not in the house or where you are.
Maybe, yeah.
I think it's maybe a combination. I really enjoyed their display of like, how are we going to search through your memories? Oh, well, look outside. It's right between that memory of where you were when 9/11 happened, and what was the other one?
That's
That
the
girl-
sports blooper.
Yeah.
Oh, sports booster.
Which the sports blooper was a baseball coming down, hit a guy in the nuts, and then the other caused another guy to trip over him, but he wound up catching the ball.
Oh, this is the end of capitalism as we know it.
Yeah, I love because I went and listened to like what he's saying about 9/11 there. He's like, and he's basically just saying they're gonna use this to take away our freedom. Like that's what he's shouting at the TV.
Oh my god.
It's true.
Too soon.
But Rick would immediately know, like he would be like, "Oh, this is gonna have consequence." Like that's what he's gonna be focused on.
Right.
It's like loss of life, whatever. Moving on.
Wait, can he do that? Well, he's the smartest man in the universe, so yeah, he can do whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the memory that they went into.
Yeah.
Because
They
like
were at McDonald's.
this
Yes.
was like. We'll get to McDonald's, but I wanted to talk about like his wife, who has been like this mystery character for like the entire first 2 seasons of the show.
So my question real quick, and this kind of confused me, and I might just be an idiot for not knowing, but when he goes back, when he goes into the memory, he says, "That's not me, I'm about to come up," and he comes out of the portal. He's the Rick that we know is the one with the mohawk in this scene, right? Or is he the one whose girl and daughter died? Or is this all just made up?
Well,
Are we to
Rick-
believe this whole memory is completely made up and fallacy?
We don't know. That's the thing. It's
Okay, 'cause I'm just like-
as far as we know, all of it or almost none of it could be fabricated. Like it could be that he only fabricated the stuff on the floor, or it could be that he completely made this up and that
Right.
that's not his wife. I have to think that she is though, because the best lies come from pieces of truth.
Yeah.
Well, the reason I think it's somewhat true is because in the end they're like, you're the rickiest Rick of them all because you have passion
Right.
and you care about your family. When he plays off that he doesn't, but at the same time you're like, well, it would make sense to have this be the origin story of a Rick, the only Rick that actually cares in a way. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of interesting to think of.
The Rickest Rick.
The Rickest Rick. Pickle Rick!
What do you guys think? Do you think that we'll just call her Diane for ease sake, because that's what they call her
yes,
in this.
that's her name, yes.
Well, we don't know if that's really her name.
We get the impression her name is Diane.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Do you think that it really is dead? Do you think that she is? Do you think that he's responsible? Like, how much of this do you think is accurate?
I mean, I personally think that is his true story. I know that he was doing a bit when he was like reacting to it in the memory. But like I think that there are so many pieces that we've had throughout the seasons that have kind of insinuated that this is somewhat his backstory, like him spending time with having memories of spending time with young Morty and things of that sort. Like, I think that most of it is true with the exception of the formula.
Got it.
I chose to process it outside of, the universe of the show and think about it more from the creative standpoint of the storytelling. And they're kind of hedging their bets. Like the idea that, yeah, this could be it. This could be a little bit, but just in case, we're going to say that none of it's true. And I feel like when, probably by now they know, but I think that when they wrote this story, they weren't sure. And I don't know either.
So do you think later in this season we're going to get Tammy getting control of the universe gun and dropping that bomb in that blows them both up?
That's the other thing. Like, if it is true that like somebody dropped that bomb, that's a good point.
I think that would be a good payoff, and I would hope that it's not for season 9 or some time.
Let me
later
ask
down
you
the
this,
road.
Christian. Who's the only person that Rick could possibly trust with his gun besides Morty?
Wouldn't it be
Summer.
Rick?
I think it'd be Bird Person.
Well, my only
He does say that he Bird Person. Sorry, I cut you off.
go
Sorry.
ahead.
Bird Person.
Bird person
does,
comes first. You'll have to wait.
Bird Person does establish that he knows how to get Morty back with the portal gun, so he knows at least how to operate it.
Yeah. My only counter to that idea would be the fact that, like, Harmon and Roiland have said that they don't want to do time travel, which that would require in order for her to throw that bomb into the portal.
We don't know Tammy's backstory. She may not even be human,
She's
guess
like
so.
cyborg kind of thing anyway, maybe?
or just like some kind of other alien species
Yeah, I don't know.
that's lived for a while. Like, we know she's probably not 15.
So are you implying that she's like Vandal savaging it, and that like at some point she sends a message back to her like former self and is like, throw this bomb through this thing using this portal gun, and she's like, cool. Boop.
That's a fair. I don't know. That's a fair point.
The other option is it's honestly just Mohawk Rick who's like, yeah, you asshole, you will, and then puts this bomb back through there just to screw with him.
Maybe.
Yeah, that was, I think, what they were implying.
Got it.
But I love the conspiracy angle, that there's like way more to it.
Yeah.
Or at the Council of Ricks, like, this is how we make this Rick the Rickest Rick.
Right.
Like, what if the Council was like the ones who like manipulated him to be the Rickest Rick?
Like it's an experiment to see
Yeah.
like, how far they can go. Interesting.
So I think this is about the time where the episode really takes off, is when he takes the picture, uploads the virus, and they're back at Shoney's the whole time, and then just the brainulator gets used.
Oh, it just becomes non-stop at this point.
Because I'm like, the episode's 22 minutes long, and this is about maybe 6 minutes in.
Yeah.
And you're like, I watched the whole episode, I'm like, that was 22 minutes. I felt like it was 10 minutes. Like, it was just, it just kept going.
I love they kill this Rick.
Yeah.
Like, again, like, it does, like, we don't even know, because this is Rick's, it's C-137, maybe, like, is Earth C-137 where we've been spending time, or is Cronenberg world C-137, since that's where our Rick and Morty are from?
I thought I had it all figured out. Now you just said that.
So did we track whose brains he switched with? So he switched into the
He's switching
bug,
to Nathan Fillion bus.
and then
Yes.
he gets his head blown off. Then he switches into
to his
C-99.
into
Yeah.
C-99. Then he calls somebody and switches into Captain Rick.
Yes, the chief officer, and then he changes into the
Judge
council
Rick.
member.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's
So
five
where
or
we
six
are
trains.
is he stayed in one of the council
Members'
of Rick.
body.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
So that's where he ended with.
Yeah,
Right.
and I think they basically just want us to not even worry about that.
Yeah.
at this
Okay.
point.
But I am
Like, he
worried about
He
it.
fixed the hair, and then we can
Yeah.
move on.
Yeah, that's all you need. Just the hair.
Oh my god, I love this, like, all the little crazy McDonald's.
Before we like move into another place, I liked that this series of events, him getting out, also kind of harkened back to the which episode? It was the M. Night Shyamalan Aliens. Yep, that's what that one's called.
Yeah.
Where they were trying to get dark matter
Oh,
formula.
Yeah.
I like that that was basically a predecessor to this episode.
This is gonna be such a mind fuck.
I love how they break the fourth wall though all the time, where it's like he's sitting and it's like They go into the McDonald's. There's one place we have to go. They had this in 1997. They had a Mulan thing where they had this special Szechuan sauce, and my memories are the only place we can get this Szechuan sauce. Like, Rick, you're literally melting your brain and going through a bit right now.
Yeah.
You're right. Let's go in the drive-thru. And then his wife and child, or girlfriend and child, blow up, and the guy's like, "Oh my god, this sauce is amazing."
Here's the thing: the McDonald's bit is how I found out that the episode aired and all that. Because
Really?
I was at WonderCon yesterday, and it was the end of the night. I was drinking a little bit.
Shame on you, Zach.
How dare you?
This is how great stories start.
And I looked at. I was just like, at one point I was posting a photo, and I looked at Twitter, and I saw the Rick and Morty account making all these posts about McDonald's Mulan Szechuan sauce. I was like, that's weird. They do weird stuff with that account all the time, so it didn't faze me that much. But I was like, I watched the ad, and I was like, that's random, and then I looked a little closer, went, oh my god.
I feel like right before this aired, somebody had sold on eBay a sealed packet of it, and now they're kicking themselves like, it would have been worth so much more now. Probably bad.
I'm so glad I bought it when I did. It's true. But that's what I was alluding to in the beginning. Is it's such an obscure thing, and it's such a major plot point.
Shoney's, Mulan, Szechuan sauce.
And it's not like, the McDLT is something sometimes people remember thrown around as a McDonald's flavor. But the Szechuan sauce tie into Mulan, it's such a specific that's what's funny to me. Is it's like somebody went the extra mile and then another 10 miles for the sake of a joke, and I'm in. Oh, I was, I'm always in.
I'm not sure. Computer, do we have the ad for that? Because this is such an obscure reference.
Yeah.
I certainly ate at McDonald's at that time, and I do not remember the Szechuan sauce because I would have tasted it.
Anthony, or
Yeah, I actually brought it up.
Yeah, put it up. But yeah, it's just they lean into it so hard.
especially at the end.
Well, specificity is one of the number one rules of improv, right, guys? That and comedy comes in threes.
Just roll it whenever you have it. Let's stop talking. But yeah, you're right. But that's the thing. It's and that's something Rick and Morty has done so well.
Yes.
Which, by
this
the way,
point.
was one of my favorite lines at the end. He's like, and now I forgot how to improvise.
Yes.
Oh, that was so good. It's I transferred all the things that I don't really need. 6 weeks of improv classes.
So I got it up. Is this gonna be at 240p?
Play
It's
it.
fine, just play it.
It's from
Yeah, it's
1998.
If it's not HD, I don't want to watch it. I'm going to cover my eyes.
You guys
Yeah.
When I sit down with chicken,
Turn it up.
I know, I hit the gong. In honor of Disney's new
That's so
movie,
racist.
No, they used gongs in ancient China.
McDonald's is offering tender
And
pieces of chicken
Szechuan
McNuggets
sauce.
and new Szechuan
These
sauce.
two little kids just
Starting
talking about
Tuesday,
McNuggets
6
and
pieces
banging
for
on this
99
gong.
Or 20 pieces for $3.29.
Oh,
Ooh,
That's
so
a great.
cheap.
That's such a good value.
freaking Disney whitewashing their McDonald's Szechuan sauce commercial.
I don't even know how to respond to that.
It looks delicious.
Oh my god. And yeah, Cap Travis is asking, wait, that was a real thing?
6 pieces for
Everything in this episode was a real thing.
How many tweets do you think we need to encourage people to send at McDonald's to encourage them
I already
to have
did one
this
today.
to have this out in time for the actual season premiere?
You know what's really funny is yesterday, or I think it was earlier today, they tweeted, because I was curious if the McDonald's account had done anything to this, and they had tweeted out just one tweet that was just a gif of somebody dipping a McNugget, and it was just dipping in that sauce, and it was just totally vague, didn't establish what it was.
What kind of sauce is
It
that?
was just is that the sauce? Morty, I need to know. I
think
need the Szechuan to sauce to dip in the nuggets.
It's a very uncommon thing for a fast food restaurant that specializes in nuggets to tweet out a gif of it dipping a nugget.
Yeah,
It was just-
totally.
Were they dipping it in Szechuan sauce or the blood of Grimace? It's delicious.
Before we get
Look.
further into this, dude, I really want to talk, because I know we have 15 minutes left. The fact that Morty is having such an existential crisis about Rick in that he dumped him, and it's so deep. And always as Morty is always the deep one, really cares about relationships and stuff. But with the family, because we haven't really talked about the family yet.
Yeah, I want to talk about especially Summer.
Oh yeah.
That was that whole storyline.
So we're introduced to the family, and they're eating pills, as
course.
is the new alien overlords. The dad doesn't know why he's being promoted, and we learn that there's a lot of aggression towards Rick.
Yep.
That is an accurate statement. There is a lot of aggression.
I mean, because like we it's easy to forget, like it's been a while, but like he, from their perspective, and also because like the end of the finale for season 2, we saw what he did and like why he did it, but they had no idea. All they saw was he went out for ice cream, and then the Galactic Federation found them. That was the timeline for them. So as far as they know, Rick just like knew the government was coming and bailed.
Yep. And now Earth has new Galactic Federation pills.
Yep. New overlords.
I like how the butler just shoves it down his throat.
Yeah, he just tilts his head back.
And then he says
Slides it
thank
down.
you because they very much controlled them.
But so this whole thing is like she's depending on Rick as the savior, and Morty just is not having it because he's the only one who knows what was really going on. So,
I actually think what they did here with Summer was really fascinating because she's not like waiting for Rick. Like she's putting him up on a pedestal, sure, but she's like, Grandpa Rick wouldn't stand for this, and she goes out to the garage like ready to just like own it.
Yeah.
I think they're turning. I think what they're hinting at here is like Summer is going to become like Rick's true heir in the family. Like she's going to be the one who inherits like his like. Maybe some of his intelligence and some of his drive.
I mean,
like,
she almost got the flies right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like, though, the other side to that coin is that I feel like she's heading down the same path that, not Diane, Beth is, in that, like, Rick can literally do no wrong in her eyes, which he's done a lot of bad things, and, like, some they know about, some they don't, but, like, it gets to dangerous territory when you essentially deify a person who literally is like a demon, as Rick was saying. Like, yes.
My question though is, do you think that he traveled with them before, like when Morty was younger? Because like Morty just assumes that he's the only one that Rick has taken on all these adventures, but you never know that like previously when Rick was younger, whether or not he took a different universe as Summer or a different universe as Beth, like while they were growing up and they just don't remember it or something.
Like he went and borrowed a Morty.
Yeah, like I don't know.
Well, this is one of those things about Rick and Morty where it's like I feel like just don't think about it too
Yeah.
hard. Is like all that stuff at like the Citadel of Rick's, like it's come up like Morty's 10. So like if they've been going for 10 years, or no, he's not 10. He's like what? 14?
Whatever.
Yeah, he's like 14 or
But
15.
like, so if they've been going for that long that they established all of this, then like they must have been traveling with Morty when he was like 3.
Yeah, or somebody else.
So he was just carrying around a baby for camouflage the whole time.
Would you put it past him? Have a baby for camouflage.
No.
Yeah, see, there you
Yeah.
go. So it all makes, all of these are very possible. And again, if we get the 9 seasons, we might see all of this. All these different permutations.
I'm just glad that there's a very simple room that you can just hit a few dials and buttons and teleport the entire station wherever you want.
We have that here at AfterBuzz. Did
I
you
know, we
that?
do, we do, actually. It's called the White Room.
That was great. I love like he just collapses the government.
How do you collapse the government, Rick? By changing a 1 to a 0. Hashtag Venezuela.
Too soon.
But I love that, like, but again, we talked about like how they called back to like old stuff. Like, I love that when Morty was like, we gotta bail after they dug up the bodies and like went through that whole plot line to get the portal gun, they went to his original Earth and like the Cronenberg world.
It was so good.
And found them. But again, like part of why I think they're going to be turning Summer into like a new, like a Rick like apprentice, like because Morty's never gonna be Rick, he's just like Rick's partner,
Right.
But like I think Summer is gonna like turn her, like she stinks of Rick. I really think that this Summer is going to just start becoming crazier and crazier and more just like willing to mess up the world.
Wait a second. What have they been saying about this season?
It's gonna be the darkest.
No, they've been saying new episodes this summer.
Shit.
Oh, I get it.
He just blew all our minds.
Brain you later, you motherfuckers.
Yeah. My mind's
He's drunk on Szechuan sauce.
But it's just like when she's talking about like that's what Grandpa Rick does, like that's what heroes do. Like she is like she wants to be Rick, and I think we're gonna see her do that.
I mean, she doesn't
And
have,
I think that'd be fun to watch.
she doesn't have much else going on.
Yeah, well, her best friend is an intergalactic cop, I guess.
Yeah, but who's paying her?
That's true.
Who's paying me to ask that question?
Yeah.
We need pants. Give me your pants.
Yeah, I like that pants became the new currency in this
Yeah.
world.
Which is perfectly
controls
logical,
pants.
by the way.
Totally.
All I
You
did was
controls
just,
pants, controls the galaxy.
I just crawled on the floor and it just kept working, so I got here. Look, it's final. It's me or Rick. Hey Rick, you might want to go in the garage for a minute.
That shot when they that was when, you knew they were finally
Yeah.
gonna pull the trigger when there's just the shot of the four of them staring at him well.
So he's gonna take a little bit of a divorce, time away on a divorce.
What do you guys think that does for the show to have them finally break up, finally get divorced after basically using every single episode of the show to tease it?
I mean, I think it's hilarious because they can play on a lot of movies from pop culture. Like Sixth Sense had characters with a separated divorce, with a separation. Lots of M. Night Shyamalan films had characters that are separated but still living together.
We're gonna do Kramer versus Kramer.
I don't
in
think he's
episode.
going to move out. I think they're just going to be divorced and he'll be on the couch.
I would like it if he was gone, though, because it brings another new dynamic. It introduces the idea of Beth dating again and having Rick be like a father figure trying to vet these new dudes.
You're assuming that if he's still there on the couch, she wouldn't be dating. But you can still have him there and oh, hey, this is Steven. I brought him home on my date.
Maybe she'll date a Mr. Meeseeks.
What if she dates? What if
Make him jealous.
I'll bet you we bring in that guy from the episode at the daycare, Paul Fleischman.
Oh,
Even if it's just for a cameo bit, but oh yeah, in some timelines Beth remarries. Oh man, what else happened in these episodes?
just so much.
It felt like they
we got the back and forth
in here.
Rick hands Morty the gun and he's like, "You're gonna use this
Yeah, that was
later."
great.
And then it's just like, "No, Rick, I'm not gonna let you shoot my sister. You obviously care about." God damn it, Morty! Obviously, I would care about it. And they all just start yelling at Morty.
Yeah. Standoff was great.
Phoenix person.
I'm so glad I read that note.
Yeah.
We gotta talk about Phoenix person.
Oh my God, Phoenix person! I knew they were gonna bring Bird Person back.
Bird person.
No.
I didn't know how they were gonna do it, but yeah, you can't lose bird person.
I hope there's
Bird
a
person pin.
there's a pop. What are those things called? Pop figures?
vinyl?
I hope there's a pop vinyl of Phoenix person.
That'd be sweet.
I
It
think there
looked
would have
like
to be.
it looked like it was it looked like a cross of Dark Angel from X-Men.
Oh, Archangel?
Archangel.
Yeah.
Archangel. It the wing style looked like Archangel.
Right.
So I wonder if they're just gonna do, and it's Phoenix, of course, made me think of that. So it's I wonder if they're just gonna do an X-Men kind of storyline.
That would be references.
Amazing.
But I to me that's is Tammy actually? She's like, I actually fell in love with you, bird person. Is that what happened here? You said you didn't care what he was called. You just wanted him brought back.
Yeah, I thought we said Cyberbird.
Which Cybird would have been way better.
Oh, missed
man.
opportunity, Tammy.
Is that Cybird in the past tense or CYBIRD?
T-Y-B-I-R-D.
Like Cybird, like he's a bird.
Oh.
But yes,
I didn't understand.
Like it's a
Fine
pun.
words.
It's a combination of words and a pun. I don't need to explain this.
It
The
cr-
audience gets it.
You create
You
humor
get
by
it.
stitching two
I did
words
get it.
together that have a
Cyber.
similar syllable in
Yes.
the middle.
Uh-huh.
Can we bring a blackboard in
Creates
here?
a new
We'll write
word
it out.
entirely. But yeah, I do it's gonna be months before we get more Rick and Morty. But
Oh wait, I have an idea though. You just might be able to watch this episode 300,000 times before that comes out though.
I just might.
I think you could.
I'll show them. I'll watch it 300,000.
I've already watched it 3 times since this morning when I watched it.
Yeah, I'm at 6.
And he's been watching it the whole time we're doing the show.
It's true.
It's not wrong.
That's how he stays
It's
fresh.
actually that's why I keep getting distracted. It's actually on
I
the
actually
computer
put
screen
it.
right
Actually, no. I guess it's 3.5 because I put it on I just the audio on the drive here to get my brain refreshed on what we were about to talk about. But yeah, Any other like favorite moments or predictions for what we're gonna see going forward?
I mean, we haven't talked about the biggest thing in the episode that happened.
The final speech.
The final speech.
Because I wrote down the whole speech.
I would
recite it.
like to hear that in your impersonation of Morgan Freeman. Please entertain
My
us.
impersonation of Morgan. You say that like I have a Morgan Freeman.
You guys have to hear Zach's Morgan Freeman.
I don't have
it's
one.
Spot
Do
on.
we though? Andy Dufresne crawled through a river of shit.
Just like the fact that this all happened because he crossed him in the last one. He threatened to turn me into the government, so I took him down and the government. Now I've replaced them both as your patriarch figure, you and the world, Morty.
Dude, that was a really good Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
That wasn't even. I hadn't even started the quote. I was just. I'll go out and I'll find some more of that Mulan Szechuan teriyaki sauce. That's what this has all been about. That's my one-armed man. I'm driven by avenging my dead family, Morty. That was fake. I'm doing this for the McNugget sauce. I want that Mulan McNugget sauce, Morty. That's my.
What are you talking about, Rick?
That's.
Yes, I forget.
That's my series arc, Morty. If it takes 9
What's the
seasons, I
series
want my
arc?
McNugget
Rick,
dipping sauce.
what are you talking about?
Just one sauce.
I'm scared, Rick.
9
What's
more
going
seasons
on?
until I get the
Oh my
dipping
God.
sauce, Morty.
9
like I'm
seasons? What are you
watching
talking
Yeah, it's
about?
like
For
I
97
don't
more
need to watch
years,
it again.
I want the McNugget sauce, Morty.
Really?
I forgot that like Morty had no context for what he was saying, and so like he's just being attacked viciously over this sauce.
And that's the commitment to the bit that I was talking about earlier.
Yes.
Just the fact that it not only came up again, but it's like, it's his one-armed man. It's his avenging his dead family.
Yeah.
Like they've said, Royan and Harmon have said since the beginning of the show that there's one thing that like secretly that they had that was always going to inform the way that they wrote Rick. And there were a bunch of different theories that like Reddit put out, and they said that like there was a at the time they were like, Reddit already got it. Like, we're not going to tell you which theory it is, but Reddit already figured it out, like, right away. So somebody, like, went through all the threads.
Oh, wow.
And, like, pieced out, like, which it could, like, based on the time frame, which it could have been. And the ones that stuck out that I remember are Rick, like, replaced... Rick lost his Morty in some accident and was so devastated that he jumped into another timeline to be with Morty. Mm-hmm. I feel like that one has been more or less disproven.
Yeah.
But the big one was that Rick is aware he's in a TV show.
We talked about the seasons.
And that seems like pretty much that's where we are.
Yeah.
But I would
that's like-
love it
that's
if
like Deadpool,
they'd
too.
known about the Mulan thing like for years.
Yeah.
They've like had this in their back pocket.
That they had the Mulan thing first, and they built a show around it.
Exactly.
Need a character driven by Szechuan teriyaki dipping sauce. I also
one
love
thing
they
you can't
threw
get.
in teriyaki, which is not at all what the sauce was at one point. He just gets it wrong. I need that McNugget Szechuan sauce, Morty.
Yeah.
McDonald's.
If you guys need more Rick and Morty and you've already seen the episode, go ahead. They animated the court scene dialogue that they did at the panel 6 months ago, where there was a really weird stenographer did the quotes from court where a guy was like arguing with the judge, and they made Morty the judge and made Rick the defendant.
Yes.
And somebody storyboarded it, and then somebody actually animated it, and then they took the voices and made it. So it's actually like a whole 17-minute, similar to an episode of Rick and Morty, just not as intense.
It's really
It's a
weird.
great bit.
It's fun.
Wow.
I'm looking forward to the rest of the season.
Eventually.
Yeah, eventually. Stick around. Until then, because we're out of time. You guys can find me, Zach Wilson, on Twitter and Instagram at @ZachWilson. If you're a fan of Grimm, that show just had its series finale. Tauri, me, and Yel Teagle, our co-hosts, are right after this going to go into the studio to talk about that finale and
Yeah.
like the devastating craziness that was that.
I think we should open the
Um,
Grimm finale with the G.I. Joe sponsorship announcement of "Don't give him the stick." That's the way to start it.
And Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. comes back on Tuesday night. We'll be live at 11 p.m. Pacific Standard Time talking about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Finally.
Check it out.
Find me on Twitter at Stephen Lemieux, STPHENLAMIX, and follow all the great shows here on the Popcorn Talk Network at the Popcorn Talk.
And I'm Tauri J. Miller. You can find me at Tauri J. It's Tarijay.
I can't talk that fast, but I'm at Christian DMZ. I'm on The Tomorrow Show, Mondays and Thursdays, thetomorrowshow.com. The Trump Report, Tuesdays, and I have my own podcast, The Blackcast, BLADTCAST.com.
Ooh.
All right, guys, this has been Sci-Fi Weekly. Wubba dub dub dub.
Take a shit.
Bitches!
Finally take that shit.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.